Taking my medication. Come on, Cletus. Yo. All right, peeps. Hopefully y'all can hear me. I'm out here getting my medication because, as you see from the title, it's the first time I've been sick in 9 years. So I'm taking my medication. Medication is one, vitamin D from the sun. Can't bottle that. And this grapefruit, which is my vitamin C, straight from the fruit. No fillers, no BS. So wanted to join you guys and kind of let you guys in. I'm just gonna start doing a little bit more personal information just because I just feel like there's so many people out here faking the funk, and I don't want you guys trying to live up to some BS. It's not fair, it's not cool, and it's not helpful. So although I'm an introvert, I never really shied away from people knowing the real me. Like, I just don't really talk a lot, but I can, obviously. And me being a professor for the last 15 years, that's also helped for sure. And I believe that that is the path that higher self have put me on, because he knew, or she knew. Of course, it was quiet at first. What's happening? I'm gonna wait for the noise to settle down. All right. Let me know if you guys have any health questions while I'm on here chatting with you. But yeah, I haven't been sick in 9 years, and 9 years happened to be the time that I first tried going plant-based. Now, if you don't know me or my story, I tried going plant-based for the first time 9 years ago, and I say tried is because I was successful for about 4 months, and reversed a lot of things that I set out to reverse in just 4 months. And so what did I do? I celebrated. And how do we typically celebrate? Putting things in our body that is just not good for us. I've never been a drinker, didn't smoke, but food was my celebration. So I went back to eating foods that put me in that situation in the first place. And of course, what happened? Less than a month, I go back to the same issues. So I was like, all right, let's try this again. Second time I went back around, went plant-based again. I was successful for, I think, maybe a year or so, something like that. And then something happened, I think, kind of traumatic or really emotional, and just started eating my feelings. Anybody understand that? Anybody ever gone through that before? Anybody ever ate their feelings? A lot of times we don't just eat food, we eat our feelings. Anybody relate? Anybody? I don't know. Maybe I'm by myself. Doubt it. But anyway, so I started eating my feelings. And it took me a while to realize that it was like, this food is not really helping me. So I dug my way back out to get back to a space to where it's like, all right, let me be more consistent with the plant-based lifestyle. And started being more consistent again, and went back plant-based for, I think, 3 years. And then another traumatic situation. And I really don't like to use the word trauma because, you know, a lot of people use it loosely. So let me just tell you what I went through. Was another heartbreak with the man that I thought I was going to spend the rest of my life with. So because of that breakup, it was like shocking to me. And so I went back to the foods that I was familiar with. And this is the third time that I went back from plant-based to sad diet, blah, blah, blah. And literally, when I took a bite of that last piece of, it was eggs from Waffle House, I literally felt it go through my body, and it traveled right out and right there, and was like, ooh, that came right out. So I won't bore you with that because I've already talked about this story multiple times. I already have it posted if you guys want to know more about that. But I'm coming to you live today is because I have not, even though I've gone back and forth with the struggles of the sad diet and plant-based diet, I haven't been sick. And what I found, I just found that kind of interesting. It was like, all right, why all these other times that I fell back and forth 3 or 4 times over the last 9 years, I didn't get sick. And this last time, a couple of days ago, I could not work. I had a pounding, and I still have somewhat of a headache. I had a scratchy throat and very sore. Like when I used to get sick back in the day, I used to get very, very sore. So I was like, why is this happening now? And I've been plant-based consistently for at least 5+ years. So what I can only conclude is, I think that the cleaner that, let's just say a pipe is, say you have a pipe that's brand new. It hasn't had the opportunity to be filled with sludge or anything else. And you fill that pipe with sludge. Obviously, it's going to get clogged, right? The cleaner that the pipe is, the easier it is for water or sludge or anything else to run through it, right? So I think that's similar to what happened to me. Like, I've been clean for 5 years. That's why they call it clean eating. And the easier it is for me to get sick off of foods that my body is like, that no longer serves you. I hope that makes sense. That's the only thing I can conclude, because like I said, the first 4 times, or the first time I went plant-based, 4 months, I didn't get sick until like a month or so later. The other times, it took a while for me to realize it. So I was like, okay, that's the only thing I can come clean to. Again, let me know if you guys have any questions on, how to retrain your brain to stop self-sabotaging, because that's a lot of times what we do. I have a whole entire program, but I do give away a lot of free information on how I did it. If you want to join my school, that's where I give more free information than I do out in the open and social media, because they, don't want you guys to know this information. But so the biggest thing that bothers me about this whole thing about me getting sick is that, let's talk about judgment for a second. Being judgmental can definitely hinder us from growing far and growing fast. So I've taught in higher education for 15 years, and the first 10 years was at a PWI. The PWI, I would have at least 2 or 3 vegans in my classroom every single semester. So again, this is almost 20 years ago now, before veganism was trendy. So every single semester I'd have a vegan. I would have them explain it to me, because I literally, from the first vegan I had to the second, third, fourth, I didn't understand it. So every time I asked, I genuinely wanted to know and understand, but I kept coming to the same question. But why? It didn't make any sense to me. And I was just like, that you don't eat this because it makes no sense. Make it make sense. And I was literally searching and searching and searching for answers. And they kept pretty much telling me the same thing, and I just still didn't get it. So 20 years later, now I get it. And I just wonder, where would I be if I didn't have the biasness that I had growing up? Where would I be if I wasn't closed-minded? Where would I be if I wasn't, again, judgmental? Because I know a couple of my students were like, well, we do it for the animals. And I was just like, I'm still trying to get my rights. So F the animals. I'm just being honest, all right? But now that I've seen what they do on some farms and some places, I'm kind of like, wow, that's, I wouldn't want any living being to go through that. So, so the key word today is watch being judgmental. And I remember still eating from the SAD diet. Um, some of my teammates would go to the store and they would pick up the box and read the back and read the labels. And I'm like, oh my God, if you like the product, put it in the basket and let's go. Taking 2 hours to shop is just ridiculous, right? And again, this is 30 years ago when I played ball in college. So I was like, again, just being judgmental because they wanted to take more time to figure out what they're putting in the body. And I'm just like, it's just food. Just get it. It don't matter. So, again, the key word, judgmental, judge less. And I'm preaching to myself because we do it all the time. Even just people walking by us, we assume who they are a little bit just because of what TV told us who they are, right? Whether it's just their skin, whether it's their height, whether it's their shade of skin, whether it's what they have on, rich clothes, so-called poor clothes, which, yeah, all of those kind of things, we should just judge less, right? And yeah, just be mindful of that. I just wonder how far I would be if I judged less. So I'm always talking to myself. The other thing I wanted to tell you guys is that I'm going to start posting in my school platform to give more vegan options, is because you guys want to know how I got sick. How did I slip and eat some food that my body does not love? It's from my mother's cooking. Now, I'm not here to demonize my mother. Obviously, I love my mother. We have an amazing relationship. And she knows, I've told her multiple times, I'm now vegan. This is not a choice I made yesterday. This is serious. This is not for play. I'm so dead serious about this. And so she's been cooking a lot of vegetables, especially when I go and stay with her and visit and all that good stuff. But this last particular time, I walked in the kitchen while she was cooking and I saw the tub of butter. Now, kudos to Mom, because it wasn't the tub of butter that I used to see growing up. It was that gray or brown tub of butter that was Crockett or Old Croc, something about Croc. I don't know. Y'all know what I'm talking about. It wasn't that anymore. So I was like, yes, Mom has graduated. She don't use that crap anymore, and she's more mindful about certain things. So I pick up the tub of butter and I'm trying to read it and make sure that it's vegan. She snatches it out of my hand and she's like, it's fine. I got it from one of my health groups that was suggested, or they suggested it. It's fine. Give it to me. It's about to melt. I'm about to put it back in the fridge. So I was like, what was that? But I just was like, all right, whatever. She's kind of feeling some kind of way for something else. It didn't have anything to do with me. So I just assumed that, right? Come to find out, since I got immediately sick, I went back to that butter. Sure enough, it was not vegan. And I was just like, why did you do that? I don't understand why sometimes we self-sabotage and sometimes we sabotage other people for what they want to do and how they want to live. Why do we do that? It's time that we get to a space, especially in our culture, that we love each other in a way that is not harmful, right? I'm sure you guys already know, a lot of times when we go to a funeral of a loved one, 9 times out of 10, they passed away from what I call the FTDs, food transmitted disease, right? The top 9 out of 10 diseases or causes of death is from food related diseases. And I know a lot of people don't want to hear this. I get it. It was hard. That was one of the hardest breakups I've ever had. Forget about a guy. Food is one of the hardest breakups to go through. So our culture shows love through food. And so it just seems hard for other people and very different and sacrificial for to show other ways of love. I don't know, but we got to figure it out. but food is not the only way, especially food that harms us, right? So what am I doing to get my medication? I'm out here in the sun, and I'm out here getting my vitamin C. No fillers, no bull crap. It's just straight from here. All right. I'm going to read some of the comments. Somebody asked, no, I'm not a politician. What happened after you? I am not understanding. Sorry, I'm not understanding some of your comments. I'm going to read from another area I'm going live from. What issues did I? So I healed myself from fibroids. Not getting sick in 9 years, that's a whole healing itself. I've helped other people reverse. It's hard for me to say this on live social media just because I know what they do. Every time I talk about it, my channel kind of goes down. Join me in my school and I talk about things wide open, but you can reverse anything. I'll just say that right now, okay? But I've started with myself, and then I started helping other people like my friends, family members, and then it grew to clients, all right? So whatever you guys need healing from, just let me know. What other questions you have? Where am I from? I'm from the earth. I'm from the earth and I'm a unicorn. We're all unicorns. Yeah, we got to figure out a way. So anyway, one of the first few things that I changed when I was changing from plant-based is the butter, right? Since the butter is what got me into this space and talking to you guys live today, I'll tell you, go for earth balance. That was one of the first butters that I changed. One of the first swaps that I made when I was trying to be plant-based. I was trying to make things that were not as noticeable to the palate. So I'll give you guys all those secrets, what I swapped out that your palate won't notice, but your rest of your body will know that there's a bigger difference and a better difference. So earth balance vegan butter. If you want to level up and make it yourself with 5 simple ingredients, because just because something is vegan, that does not automatically mean that it's healthy. So let me just say that. Just because something is vegan does not mean it's automatically healthy. I think it's healthier and better than anything with animal foods in it. However, I will say this. Take a food sensitivity test. Everybody is different. So what's sensitive to me may not be sensitive to you. Or you may not be able to see it just because, like that pipe I was talking about earlier, the pipe might be so clogged you may not even feel it or see it. So take a food sensitivity test to see what your body likes. If you are not sure where to go to get that, there's one on my website, drdenisithinks.com. Go to my school. I give you guys a major discount, and it comes with a free consultation with me. But do that. Do yourself a favor and, because everybody's like, oh, you should eat broccoli. Broccoli is not necessarily healthy for everybody, right? 3 of my favorite fruits that was a shocker to me and really disheartening was watermelon, grapes, and honeydew. My top 3 favorite fruits. My gut doesn't like it right now. Everything is temporary if you want it to be. So you can take some herbs to actually cleanse it and get your body back balanced. But for right now, my body does not like grapes, watermelon, and honeydew. And most people will tell you those are healthy for you. Not healthy for me right now, but these are. This is grapefruit. Haven't had these since I was a kid. Speaking of, by the way, a lot of times when we have emotional moments, we're missing of things of our past, like simpler times when we were a kid. A lot of times when we want to go back, we'll do things that kind of damage us. And we'll eat ice cream, right? Ice cream has dairy in it, or, the regular ice cream does. And It's not really beneficial for nobody. We're all lactose intolerant, first of all. So going back down memory lane with ice cream, because that was one of your favorite pastimes with your family, hey, create some new, or go deeper into some other times that you may have had some happy times with your family without food, or with food that actually is beneficial, like fruit. Did you guys ever eat fruit at all? Not Fruit Loops, but fruit. Right? I remember my mom used to buy these for me when I was a kid, but when I was eating the SAD diet, I wouldn't have remembered it. I would have only remembered the time that my dad came to pick us up and we went to go get ice cream. No, let's think about some other healthier, happier times. Anyway, yeah, that's all I really wanted to say. It's just that we gotta figure out how to self-soothe in a healthier way. Mentally, physically, spiritually, emotionally, all those kind of things. All right. Appreciate you guys. Hopefully I'll see you in my school. I can answer any other questions that you guys have that are personal. You can DM me or whatever. But yeah, on the platforms, I like to keep it pretty safe. All right. I'll see y'all next time.